All around the world we're telling stories. All around the world we're saying once upon a time.
Hi campers, my name is Dana and I am the Education Director for Sparkler Learning. This week in camp, we are going to travel all the way to a country called Japan. I have a friend named Yoko who is an actor in New York City, but was born in Japan, and Yoko is going to tell us the story. Yoko uses something that looks like this to tell the story. Can you tell what it is? It's a little frog folded out of paper. My daughter added some colors to ours. Yoko uses two of these to tell a story that's called The Two Frogs Who Hop Between Osaka and Kyoto. Are you ready to hear the story? Let's listen.
Hi, my name is Yoko. I am an actor in New York City. I was born and raised in Japan, so I speak English right now, but I also can speak Japanese. Yes, I am a Japanese. I'm going to share a story from Japan. It's called Two Frogs Who Hop Between Osaka and Kyoto. I introduce these two frogs today. This is Osaka frog and this is a Kyoto frog. They may appear in the story. 昔々 Once upon a time in the country of Japan, there were two frogs. One frog lived in a ditch near the town of Osaka on the sea coast. The other frog lived in a clear little stream that ran through the city of Kyoto. The two frogs lived very far from one another and had never met. But one day, they both had the exact same idea at the exact same moment. Both frogs decided that they wanted to see the world. The frog who lived in Kyoto wanted to visit Osaka. And the frog who lived in Osaka decided to go to Kyoto. So, one morning, they both set out along the road that connected to Kyoto and Osaka. One from one end and the other from the other. Hop and hop. It was a long journey, especially for a frog. And they were both very tired. Halfway between the two towns, there was a mountain which had to be climbed. It took each frog many hops to reach the top. When they finally arrived at the top of the mountain, they were each surprised to see another frog standing there. The frogs looked at each other for a moment without speaking, and then started talking excitedly, talking about their adventures. It was delightful to find that they both had the same wish, to see more of Japan. Since neither frog was in a hurry, they decided to stretch themselves out in a cool, damp place and have a good rest before they continued with their journeys. In the morning, "It's a shame that we're not bigger," said the Osaka frog when they woke up. "If we were taller, we could see both towns from the top of this mountain and decide if it is worth our time to continue on our journeys." "I have an idea," replied the Kyoto frog. "If we each stand on our hind legs and hold on to each other for balance, then we will be tall enough to see towns where we are heading." The frogs stood and stretched themselves as high as they could and held each other tightly so they wouldn't fall. The Kyoto frog turned his nose towards Osaka, and the Osaka frog turned his nose towards Kyoto. But the silly frogs forgot that when they stood up, their big eyes were on the back of their head. With their nose pointing to the towns that they wanted, their eyes pointed back to the towns where they came from. "That's funny," cried Osaka frog. "Kyoto is exactly like Osaka. It is certainly not worth such a long journey. I will go home." The Kyoto frog said, "If I had any ideas that Osaka was a copy of Kyoto, I would never have traveled all this way." As the frog spoke, the both fell down onto the grass, said their goodbye, and set off for their homes. Hop, hop. To the end of their lives, they believed that Osaka and Kyoto, which look as different as two towns can be, were as alike as two peas in a pod.
Thanks, Yoko, for sharing this story, and thank you for listening. Now it's time for you to get busy with some activities inspired by the story about the two frogs who hopped between Osaka and Kyoto. I hope you have fun this week, and I hope you'll come back next week to hear what else happened once upon a time. This episode of Once Upon a Time was produced by Sparkler Learning as a part of Camp Sparkler 2023. Thank you to this week's storyteller, Yoko, and thank you to Benjamin Weiner, who wrote and performed the song Once Upon a Time for Camp Sparkler. To learn more about Sparkler, or if you have a child 0 to 5 and you want to play and learn along with us this summer, just visit our website, www.playsparkler.org/Camp Sparkler 23.